This isn't just another podcast. It's a movement, a global wave of women from Nairobi to Nashville, Seoul to Sao Paulo, stepping out of the shadows and into the spotlight. Women who are ready to be seen, to be heard, to be unmuted. I'm Anjali Marshall, an award-winning ABC and NBC journalist and speaker, turned business strategist, coach, and mom. My mission? To amplify the voices of women who were never meant to stay silent. One woman, one voice, one story at a time. So go ahead, put on your comfy pants, grab a coffee, and maybe the remote. Are you ready to press the button? Unmuted starts right now. Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Unmuted podcast. I am your host, Anjali Marshall, and this is where we hold space for women who are done shrinking themselves. They're ready to step boldly into their purpose, into leadership, and into freedom. Today's guest brings heart, research, and real-world experience to the conversation around leadership and motherhood. I'm very excited for today. And I just lost myself. Okay, there you are. Okay. I just don't know what happened, but when you're dealing with technology, you never know what's going to happen. I am so super excited for today because Dr. Erica Pieczonka is an organizational psychotherapist, or psychologist rather, leadership coach, and the founder of Dream Lab Coaching. She left her corporate role leading talent strategy at a Fortune 200 company to redefine success on her own terms and to help other women do the exact same thing. She now coaches high-achieving women to break free from burnout, perfectionism, and self-doubt so that they too can build a life and a career that actually feels good to them. And so Dr. Erica is proof that you really can be a deeply ambitious and a deeply present woman and mom. And so I want to welcome to the stage now, Dr. Erica. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Anjali. I'm so excited for this conversation. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This is our honor, man. I'm so excited. So I want to start. There's so many things to delve into because
Yeah.
you're very much like an onion, like so many of us, right? There's so many things to peel away. But let's start at the beginning. Let's start at the beginning. I want to hear your story. Tell women at home who you are and how you came to be where you are today.
I love that question. So, I think really where I would start is when I finished my PhD. I embarked on a journey to my first what I call big girl job, and I think it's a little untraditional the way my career started is because I was leaving at the age of 28 and starting my first real job. Throughout the 6 years of getting my doctorate, I certainly had internships. I managed research for my advisor, but I really didn't have a real job. And most of my friends had been working for 5, 6 years. And so,
Wow.
being an ambitious person, of course, I started as a senior analyst and I made a promise to myself that I was going to be a director in 5 years, and I did it in four. And
Good.
I loved what I did. I worked my way up. I was getting promoted every year, every 18 months. And I think really what was fueling me in that moment was this sense of purpose around I want to help this organization hire better. And so everything I did the 7 years I was there really was related to that purpose of I want to help leaders bring in the right talent. And so that was what my focus was. As I progressed in my own leadership, so I eventually got a team and I started working with them, I started mentoring other people. This shift started happening around what do I want my work to be about? I started to be so much more fulfilled around supporting people in becoming the best version of themselves.
That's
whether
great.
that be in their career, in their lives. So there's this sort of like budding interest around leadership development started. And of course, in my training as an organizational psychologist, that's part of what we do. We
Right.
study leadership, we study humans in the workplace, we study work performance, motivation, engagement, all of those things.
Sure.
So at this time, I also got married, met my husband. We met older in life. And so we literally dated for 8 months and we're like, let's get married. And so 3 months later, we got married. And 3 months after that, I was pregnant with our first child. And it was such an exciting time. And of course, I'm sure many of the mothers can relate to this here, but my son was going to be born in July of 2020. And so a few months before he was born was when COVID happened. We all started working from home. Uh, and the best day of my life, he was born, and I went on maternity leave. The the day I went on maternity leave, this a person who really hadn't worked within my space wanted to do some analytical work around my work. And of course, as an IO psychologist, you have to have a lot of training to really understand how to do that. And that was sort of my first inclination, literally the moment before I was going on maternity leave, that I was going to come back to something very different. And I did.
Hmm.
So when I came back, the leadership had shifted and there was a lot of pressure to kind of move in a direction with my work that I didn't agree with.
Got it.
And I was kind of told, stay in your lane. This is what you do. And I'm like, but
Wow.
it's like, you're telling me to do this thing that you're having somebody else do who isn't really qualified. And
Wow.
so what is it that I do? And it was put on some other projects. My team always ran special projects, and I really was leaning into those more because I love them.
Mhm.
And I just started to feel so unfulfilled and burnt out
Yeah.
because this thing that had been like fueling me for a long time wasn't really even there anymore. And I also didn't really feel that connected to it. Around the same time, I started to get into coaching because as a leader, I kept having these conversations with my team where I was like being really directive, and this is how I was led, right? It's like, here's
Yeah.
how you do this thing, and here's coaching for like how you should do this thing. And coaching really isn't that. It is helping people discover what's within themselves, not telling them how to do something.
Right.
So I started playing with this concept of coaching with my own team, and I was like, gosh, like their growth just accelerated and they were inspired. And I was doing less work because I'm like asking them the questions and they're like coming up with these things.
That's great.
It was great. And so I'll never forget this moment. It was my son's first birthday.
Mhm.
My father, who was a lifetime entrepreneur, was in town. And I'm sitting outside with my husband, who's also an entrepreneur. My dad, they're smoking cigars. I'm not. I'm having a glass of wine.
Uh-huh.
And I said, I've been thinking about leaving my job and just starting my own consulting business. And eventually I want to coach. I wasn't trained as a coach at that point.
Yeah.
And my dad said, just do it. He's like, what do you need to feel like, you can do this? And we made an agreement. And I called my boss at the time the next day and I said, I am going to leave to start my own business and I'm going to give 4 months. I put together a plan. This is how I'm going to transition. I was already kind of getting a successor ready before that. So
Sure.
I left them in very good hands. And I started the journey of my own business at that point. It was scary because I think most people do it the right way. I did not. I was kind of like the universe, like, hey, I'm gonna do this thing and everything's gonna be okay. Probably would not give that advice to most people at
Hmm.
all. But what was amazing is that day, that afternoon, a leader that I had worked with at this company called me and said, hey, I have this project for you. And it was an excellent paying project. It was going to keep me working for a few months. I think it ended
Mhm.
up being like 4 or 5 months, and it was just that little like, "Hey, you've got this," that
Wow,
I needed to feel like, "Okay, you're on the right path. Now do the work to get to where you need to go."
that's so
So that
great.
yeah, it reminds I don't know if you've read the book by Guy Hendricks, The Big Leap, but
No, I haven't read that.
oh my gosh, I think every entrepreneur has to read that. I think every person needs to read that book.
What is it
Um,
called?
the Big Leap by
The Big
Guy
Leap.
Hendricks.
Got it.
And I I love that book for so many reasons. It fed my soul during that transition because there's so much, I mean, you can relate to this. It's like as a mother, as an ambitious woman, it's like, what the F am I doing? Right? I'm leaving this like
Yeah,
incredible career to do I don't know what. Like I
yeah,
haven't quite figured it out yet. And it's just so much learning to trust yourself and just being willing to show up for
that's great.
what you really want in your life. I
Yeah,
just I was interviewing for jobs before I decided to leave, and I got really far in a position and just realized this is gonna be the same thing, just a different company. Like, I'm just over the whole thing. I just wanna do
wow.
something meaningful. Yes.
That
Yeah.
moment, take me through that moment because that's a
Yeah.
powerful moment when you start to
Yes.
see, oh, this is the same stuff, different address. Like this is what
Same
do you do with
thing.
that?
It was hard because at that moment, it was like, "I have to get out of here. I don't feel valued." That was the thing that burnt me out the most was, like, I was always kind of like a star employee, I was always growing, I was always in the room, and I came back from maternity leave, I was not in the room, and I just couldn't I was like, I don't wanna fight this. If
Yeah,
I'm not valued here, I'm gonna go somewhere else." And I found a company that I admired. I really liked the leader I would have been working with. But yeah, it was just that understanding that came to me of like, I'm still going to be dealing with the same fight.
yeah,
And I'm tired of the fight. I don't want to have to fight to be in this room, to to have people trust my expertise, to have the opportunity to do work that really fulfills me
yeah,
and meaningful work because I'm tired of the meeting before the meeting before the meeting. I'm tired of working on decks that don't lead to meaningful conversations because nobody wants to say the thing that nobody's saying. It's like, can we just be real
just be
and
real.
yeah, can we just yeah, just that. Can we just be real? Can we just
Be
like
real.
say the things that need to be said without this PowerPoint we spend 3 months on that nobody cares about. Like, I
Colossal
don't want
waste
my
of
life's
time.
work as much as I love designing stuff in PowerPoint, I just didn't want that to be my work every day. I wanted to have more impact, and I've always loved working with women, I've always supported women, and I there's so much research that shows we're better leaders. I'm just gonna say that, and yet, like, you look at any level at director, it's okay, but above that, there's just women are not there in the proportion they should be, and it's because we need differential support. It's like as soon as you have a child, people look at you differently.
Very differently.
They yeah, they assume you're not gonna show up in the same way just because you have a kid.
Yes.
Which
You
is
know,
not true.
I it couldn't be further from the truth. And
Mhm.
so man, I love this story so much. Thank you for just sharing this.
Yeah.
Um, it's infuriating.
Mhm.
However, I will say, because I've had this conversation so many times before with so many other women,
Yes, it's not uncommon. I think it's
right?
more common than it's not.
Yeah. Like, oh,
Mhm.
you didn't have any challenges? Oh, you are a unicorn. What is going on? It's just not,
Absolutely.
it's not, this is a typical experience for so many of us in the workplace. Um, so here's my question for you. What was the moment when I'm trying to process this because I know that there's a great way to say this. I just don't know if I'm able to say it properly. It almost feels as if that moment of burnout
Mhm.
forced breakthrough for you. It forced you into breakthrough.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
my question is, And my question is always, had you not experienced that moment, or it may, and I'm sure it wasn't just one, there were many moments
Yeah,
that led up to that, right?
sure.
But
Yeah,
had you not
yeah.
experienced that, where would you be? Would you still be there?
I
Maybe.
don't know. I mean, it's such a good question because I don't know. I mean, I think, I don't know if you're into Enneagram, but I'm a 7, so I'm a very good at silver lining. But
Okay.
I really do look at that moment and I say, thank goodness that happened because it
Right.
accelerated. It's funny because you could ask a lot of my friends and they would say, we always knew Erica was going to go do her own thing.
Yeah. Just who you are.
Yeah, and maybe I took me longer to realize that than all of my friends and all of my former colleagues, but I think yeah, I mean, I think it accelerated me realizing this is not what I meant to do. This was what I was meant, and this is a conversation I have with so many of my clients. It's like, this is what you were meant to do for a time. And it's okay to
Yeah.
realize that's not what you're meant to do anymore and realize like I have no energy for this work. I am depleted because I'm trying. I have no motivation. It's like, well, maybe it's just time to say thank you for being a part of my life. And now it's time for me to do something else. It's like a breakup almost. It's like, okay, thank you. You served your purpose and I honor that and I will cherish that. And now I'm gonna go do this other thing that like I can't wait to pour my whole heart into. That's
And
where
I'm
I got.
excited about that split, and I'm okay with that
Mhm.
split. You have to be
Yeah.
okay with it.
You have to be okay with it, and I think there's so much too in terms of motherhood, like, I always talk about, this concept around mattress sense where it's like, you are literally like, everything in you is changing, like, biologically, physically, emotionally, spiritually, like, everything. I think,
Everything.
as a mother, you can relate
Yep,
to this. It's like,
yep.
your whole perspective changes, and the things that were okay for me before having my first son became not okay. It's like, no, I'm not satisfied with being burnt out. I'm not satisfied with not feeling like I have energy to show up. I'm not satisfied feeling like I'm so emotionally depleted that at any given moment, I'm going to just like lose it, right? Because that's not how I want to show up as a role as in my motherhood role, right? And that's where I realize it's like I need to I need to build resilience in in my life in a different way than I have up to this point where the career was my number one focus
Yeah.
because I have so many other roles I have to play now. Mother, wife, coach,
Friend,
whatever, friend. Yeah.
CEO of your family.
CEO of your family, that's right.
Mhm.
And that requires something very different than what I'm doing right now.
I love that so much. You've
Mhm.
talked about rewriting the old rules of success,
Mhm.
right? So, what are some of the
Yes.
old rules that you had to personally unlearn?
Ooh, I love that question. And honestly, I will say it is such a journey because I feel like even now I'm still unwriting the rules.
Yeah.
Um, I a lot of it is having boundaries with yourself is what I think I've learned is like everybody always talks about all these boundaries you have to have with other people. It's like,
Mhm.
well, other people aren't telling me that, from the moment I wake up until, 7 p.m. I have to work. That's all on me.
That's all on
I'm
me.
the one who's doing that. I'm the one who's saying, "Oh, it's okay to skip your workout to like deal with this work thing." I'm the one who's saying, "Oh, you know what? Like you don't have to meditate in the morning. You can just sit down and get to work." Though those rules are related to your priorities. And I think when you rewrite your rules, you have to start with number 1, what are my values?
Mm,
Where do I want to be in the next 3 to 5 years and what is important to me?
yeah.
And when you look at where am I spending my energy? This is literally what I did. It's like, okay, what's important to me? Where am I spending my energy now? Okay, well, that doesn't align with these priorities.
Right.
So I need to, like, okay, I'm going to completely shift how I approach every single day so that with every habit and behavior that I'm engaging in, I'm getting a little bit closer to this vision of how I want to live my life, how I want to be a mother, what I want to achieve in my work.
Yeah.
And it all started with like actually sitting down and thinking about what's important to me, how am I spending my time, how do I want to spend my time? And then I'm a big proponent of using your calendar. I literally block
Ooh,
everything on my calendar.
so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Calendars are, I think they are vital to the
Mhm.
success of any organization, including yourself and your own business
Yeah.
and your family. You have to have it.
You have to because it's like for me, what I would do is I would create an excuse of, "Oh, well, I don't have time for this thing today," whatever it might be.
Yep.
Um, but if I put it on my calendar, it's like, there's the time. I
There
made
it
the
is.
time and I'm honoring that time, and it's easier to hold myself accountable to it if it's there. Those
Yeah.
were the like I think the biggest shifts I made because before when it was just me, work was my number one priority always.
Isn't that
And
that's so
it's very
strange?
strange. It's very strange. Yeah, it is very strange.
But it's
It's
so acceptable and it's so
Mhm.
accepted, and it's just the way
Yes.
that it is, you know?
Yes, and I think I think one of the blessings of COVID is now organizations are going to fail if they just keep pushing this whole like performance thing. Like you have to hold well-being and performance in the same at the same because like
Yeah,
people cannot be successful if they're not pouring into their own cup. Like that's how burnout happens. That's honestly how performance deteriorates over time. That's how people stop growing. That's how, I mean, all of the things that you don't want as an organization happen when you don't pour into your employees. And so I think, a lot of the work I do now with myself, with other women, is really contributing to that idea around you have to have a sustainable relationship with your career or you will burn out.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and then you'll find yourself in this whole cycle of it's putting the band-aids. If you're not willing to go deep and really figure out what the problem is, um,
Yes.
I have found, just to your point of the importance of the calendar, I have found that doing a time budget has been so extremely helpful,
Yes.
um, because you need to
Mhm.
see what time are you actually getting up in the morning? What time are you actually going to bed at night? And um, how much time are you spending on the social, all the socials, on Instagram and YouTube and all the things?
Absolutely.
What are you actually doing to achieve the goal that you said that you wanted
Mhm.
to achieve? And if it's
Yes.
not working, here's why, Um,
Absolutely.
it's important for us to see that for ourselves. I love that.
It is. It is, and actually, I love that audit. That's such a great audit. The other one that I recommend is the energy audit, where it's like you look at not only where you're spending your energy, similar to how you're talking about looking at your time, but
Mhm.
also just like where are you feeling depleted and what are you doing about that? Because I find we just like society is like just push through, just
Yeah.
like get this done. Like you have to earn your rest, and yet all of the research says that rest is a strategy for performance.
Okay.
And so it's just completely counterintuitive. And so I think looking at your time, looking at your energy, doing an audit of what is your behavior and
Mm.
how does that align to what you want, just like you mentioned.
Yeah.
It's incredible just looking at that very simple data, the transformation that can happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What would you say
Absolutely.
ambition looks like for you right now?
This is the thing that I don't want any woman to ever be ashamed of saying. I don't think my ambition has changed at all. I think I still am incredibly ambitious.
Yeah.
It both in my career, but also as the things that I want to achieve with my family, right?
Mm.
It looks different in terms of how I show up for my ambition.
That's great.
Absolutely. Because
Yeah.
I understand that it's not just hitting goals at work. It's also being present for my children. And that sometimes looks different. These past few weeks have been crazy. I've been traveling a lot. I've had a lot less time with my kids. And of course, the mom guilt creeps in.
Yeah.
But I think about this moment last week. I had two back to back days in the city, which is like, 25 minutes away from me. And I'm getting home, after bedtime. But I came home on the last night around 8:30, and my oldest son woke up, and I went in bed and we're chatting, and we just had this, like, beautiful conversation. He wanted to know about umbilical cords and how the umbilical cords, like,
Oh,
fed
buddy.
the baby, and so we had this, like, beautiful conversation, and then he fell asleep, and it was, like, 15 minutes, but I was like, "You know what? Like, even if this was the only time I had with him today, it was
It's powerful.
so powerful, and we connected on such a deep level, and I felt
Yeah.
that. It was like have to remind myself of that a lot, that,
Yeah.
like, it's okay that sometimes I'm not with them as much as I like to be, and so when that mom guilt creeps in, I have to, like, remind myself it's, like, quality over quantity is
Yeah.
important to me.
That's so good. That's so
Yeah,
good.
but
I
I
think
think of it oh, sorry to interrupt
no,
you.
no, no, please, please, please. Sometimes what were you
Yeah.
going to say?
Yeah, I think of a ambition, um, as an equation for every working mom a little bit differently. It's like if you're holding a green excuse me, a blue vial in one hand and a yellow vial in the other, and you have to kind of figure out, like, okay, how what color of green am I creating based on how much I want to spend time here and how much I want to spend time here. And for every mom that looks very different.
Yeah.
It's so personal to what is comfortable for you, and that's why we can't judge other moms or ourselves for approaching it in different ways, because we're all different humans.
Yeah, that color green is gonna look different in one season as well than it does the next
Yes.
season.
Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
love that. Yes. I mean, for me this season, it's been heavy on the yellow because I've had a lot of work travel, and honestly,
Yeah.
the until, like, September, it's probably gonna be more blue, more into my family because I'm gonna have the space, and I love that. I love that I can change that.
Yeah. I'm excited for you to have that space too. That's great.
Me too. I'm very excited. Yeah.
In your coaching work,
Yeah.
um, what is the most common internal block that you see holding women
Mm,
back from really stepping into their leadership? What have you seen?
that's such a great question. I mean, it usually does really come down to confidence,
Yeah,
and we all sort of have this inner critic, right? This voice
absolutely.
that kinda tells us we're not good enough, um, and everybody and really, it is a phenomenon that happens in everyone. Like, our minds are wired for negativity. And so what I see in a lot of women is it's a little bit different, but it all comes back to that same core of, like, rest. I have to earn rest, or if I'm not achieving, I'm not worthy of love, or I'm not valuable, or
Wow.
if I'm not perfect, then I'm not good enough. And then it's like this sense of I have to do something or be something to be valuable versus, like, I am inherently valuable because I
There you
am who
go.
I am.
There you go. Yep.
Yes,
I have to
that's it.
do in
I have
order
to do.
in order to be valued, I have to do. My
Mhm.
value should not be based on what I do, but who I am.
Ex Yes, and it's not just work, it's in motherhood too.
That's a big
Because
deal.
you think about, like, the mental load, emotional labor, all of this stuff, it's like there's so much pressure on us to be a certain way. I should do this, I should do that. And whenever I hear "should," I'm like, "Wait, hold on, who's talking? Is that
Who said
you? Is that
who
you?"
said you
'Cause
should?
yeah, because usually it's some other entity, whether it be the inner critic or someone in their life, or just, like, these assumptions we're making because of the societal standards that exist.
Yeah,
So I think that those are the blocks, and those all lead to women shrinking, playing small, not speaking up, or just not living their lives in the way that they want to because they think they should be some other way.
totally.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Well said,
Mhm.
well said. Um,
Thank you.
one of the things that I love, um, I love so many things about you, but one of the things that I love is that you teach frontline leaders.
Mhm.
So through the University of Denver, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So question for you is,
Mhm.
as you're teaching, what are you seeing shift in these women that you're teaching? What are you seeing shift in the women who are showing up and they're leading post-pandemic? Because leadership
Mhm.
pre-pandemic is very different in some ways.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think what I see as a strength coming in with with a lot of the women leaders I work with is their ability to connect
Mm,
with the people that they work with. And so it's kind of building on that ability to help them hold people accountable
mm,
or give difficult feedback, things along those lines that help them be more successful as leaders. I think sometimes we get stuck in this like good girl mentality as women where it's like, oh, I don't want to say something that's going to upset you, or I want to be agreeable, or I don't want to like ruin this relationship. And I always think of Brene Brown because she talks about like clear is kind. Another good analogy is like the river, right? The river is a river because it has this structure. It has this structure of the riverbed
yeah,
so the water can flow. And without that structure, everything falls apart. And so
everything.
what I see them stepping into is this confidence around I can still be compassionate and empathetic and kind while also being a strong leader and holding people accountable and giving difficult feedback and having difficult conversations. Frontline leaders have to have a lot of difficult conversations. They're dealing with entry level talent that are
Yeah,
often doing things that, a lot of us professionals would think, that's kind of strange, right? And and a
yeah,
lot of the situations they're dealing with you know, are interesting to
yeah,
say the least. So they really have to flex that muscle. So I think is one of the biggest invitations
yeah.
for new leaders is like, yes, it's great that you have this beautiful way to connect with people. And now we have to help you get to this place where you can lean into your strength and courage to be the kind of leader that can make it to the top.
It's so good.
Hmm.
Investment, investment.
Hmm.
Um, what is one thing that you want women who are listening to this podcast today to remember as they chase their goals while holding everything that life is throwing at them?
Well, first and foremost, like you've got this, you can do it. Yeah, I just think there's such inherent power in women, but also that like you don't have to be anyone else other than who you are, and it's okay to want what you want. I think that's the biggest thing is
Right.
like I have so many. I work with a lot of incredibly talented women um, who have this little bit of guilt of like, God, should I feel bad that I want this big job or that I want to
Man,
start this business? Like, no,
no.
want what you want
Right.
and then figure out a way to make it happen in a way that honors what's important to you. Because
Absolutely.
what we don't want is somebody to lose themselves in something they don't want because that's a miserable existence.
Yeah, and
Truth,
then you wake up years
truthfully.
later and you're like, I've been working, 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 and I don't even want this.
Yeah, you don't. So it's
No.
like when you're living a life that honors who you are, what you want, allows you to show up fully in every role you play, to me, that is success. That's my definition of success.
That's
And
so
everybody's is different, but that's mine.
love that. I love that.
Mm,
Erica, this conversation is honestly, it's exactly what women need right now. It's what I need right now as a woman.
mhm.
It's just so inspiring. And I don't know, I just feel really like this is feeding me. And I'm hoping that that's what women who are watching this will feel as a result of listening. So thank you for sharing all of this and just
Yes.
bits and pieces of yourself. I really appreciate that. But before we wrap, we're going to end on a very light note. I told you I have a surprise. So
I love it.
there's something that I call hot mic. Okay. It's
Okay.
15 rapid fire questions. You say the first thing that comes to your mind. That is the only rule. No other rules.
Okay.
First thing.
I'm down.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's
Here we
do
go.
it.
Okay. Number one, coffee, tea, or oh, I forgot again.
Coffee.
How do you take your coffee?
When it's hot out, iced. When it's warm out, cappuccino always.
Ooh, okay.
Mhm.
Morning routine must have.
Coffee.
That's real. Best leadership advice you have ever received.
Mm. Be vulnerable.
Hmm. What did that do for you?
Oh, it's what creates trust. When you're willing to say, "I don't know what we're doing, but we're gonna figure it out together."
Yeah.
No other team is gonna rally behind a leader that does that
Yeah.
because they can smell when you're not being authentic.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm.
What's your Enneagram? You said you're a 7, right?
I'm a social 7.
Okay, you're a social 7. Perfect. What's something that you say to your clients all the time?
Mm. A lot of times I ask what's true about that and what's not true about that. When they
Mm,
make a statement, I feel like their inner critic is driving.
yeah. Who's driving this car?
Mhm.
If you were not a coach, what would you be doing?
Mm. I'd probably be trying to become a better surfer on a beach somewhere.
Okay, I love that. One thing that you've learned from your kids.
Mm. Emotional regulation, like how to just be in a big emotion and be okay with it.
That's great. It's really good. Your favorite quick reframe when the day just went sideways.
1, 2, 3, just do it.
Okay, I love that.
I
That's
figure
great.
out like what do I need to do in this moment to like get out of this? 1, 2, 3, just do it. That or I go for a walk. If I'm really like my head's just spinning, I'm like, all right, I need a reset. I'm going for a walk.
Okay, love it. You get 1 extra hour in the day. What are you gonna do with it?
Ooh, workout.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'd work out.
Something that always makes you laugh no matter what.
Oh boy. Probably my youngest son. He's pretty funny. Dylan.
How old is he?
He's 2.5, and
Yes,
he's a goofball.
I love it. Your coaching superpower.
I have to okay, 2 are coming to mind. One is I challenge, and that's what my leaders come to me for. Like if I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push them to be their best in the most loving way possible. I think also as a coach, just listening and being able to really hear what's being said and what's not being said.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
always tell people, shutting up is a superpower.
Yeah, silence. There's magic in the silence.
Just let people talk.
Yeah.
Let it yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
always.
Mhm.
Quote or verse that gets you back on track when you're doubting.
It's a long one, but it's by Gilda Radner. It's about delicious ambiguity. It's just about how our stories move all over, but like trusting and knowing that the universe is going to give you what it's going to give you and everything's going to be okay. Like leaning into the ambiguity, delicious ambiguity. It's one of my favorites.
Delicious ambiguity. You've given me
Mhm.
so many things to write down.
Yeah, yeah. I wish I could quote the full one because it's so beautiful. But it's by Gilda Radner.
Oh, yes.
She was on SNL in the 70s.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. What is your personal definition? We've talked a little bit about this, but
Yeah.
it still would be nice to hear you just say it again.
Hmm.
Your personal definition of success right now.
I love that. Always for me, and this is such a 7 thing, right? Is to be happy.
Yeah.
But for me right now, that is that I have a family that's healthy. I have a relationship with my husband that is strong, that I can show up for all parts of my life fully. That I
Wow.
can look in the mirror every day and say, "You did your best. You did good." Like that. That to me is success. That I can be the mother, the leader, the coach, the friend, the wife that I want to be.
That's great. How do you celebrate your wins?
Mm. Oh, that's such a good question. I'm huge on this. It's really important, no matter how big they are. The way
Okay.
I celebrate them, I write them down. I actually have this process of like sitting and really feeling the joy, like allowing myself to feel that moment and write a little bit about it. And then typically something including like a massage or getting my nails done, something kind of fun
Oh,
like that.
yes. What is
Mhm.
something okay, so that I this is just me, because
Mhm.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
What is something that used to refresh you before motherhood that
Mhm.
does not refresh you anymore?
Wow, that's such a great question. You know, it's funny because I feel like as I've gotten older,
Mhm.
I've become more introverted. And so I used to get a lot of like energy from people and I still do, but I find I need a little bit more like alone time or just like time to read or go for a walk or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not like seeking out uh time with other people as much to refill my cup. It's just like decreased a little bit. I think that's something that I notice about myself now, is I need a little bit more alone time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
interesting. There's more being
Mhm.
expected. There's more expectations from you from multiple people, I think, and
Yeah.
you need more
Well,
time to refresh and replenish.
yeah, and I think with kids, it's just like you don't get a lot of alone time too, as you know.
Yeah.
It's like you're in the morning, you're getting them ready, then there's work, then there's dinner time and bedtime. I mean, by the time the kids are in bed, I maybe have 30 minutes
Yeah,
to an hour to myself. So I think it just that that sort of impacts how much um desire I have for like a little time to myself.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
what is one thing that you're celebrating right now?
Oh, I love this question because I am actually celebrating. So 2 years ago, I made this decision that I wanted to start also doing more team coaching because I love supporting my leaders. And I find like that is just like a differential way to help them be even more successful. So I embarked on this journey about a year ago. I've gotten 2 certifications. And in the last month, I've helped coach 5 different teams. And I was like, I think I'm doing it now. I think we've arrived. Like, this is it. You're
That's
doing this thing
so
now. so
sweet.
so I am really celebrating that. That
Love
was
that.
why I've been traveling so much,
Mm,
and I am just like really happy to see that come to fruition.
love that for you. Well done.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Dr. Erica, thank you so much for being here,
My
and for
pleasure.
giving myself and so many women who are watching this just permission to lead from a place of wholeness instead of the
Hmm.
hustle mentality. You know what I mean? So,
Yes.
um, ladies, if today's conversation resonated with you, which I don't know how it could possibly not have resonated with you, don't keep this to yourself, please. Share it with a leader, with a mom, with a woman in your life who's trying to do it all, but deserves to know that she's not alone. Dr. Erica, before we go, will you please tell our viewers where they can find you, how they can follow you, and how they can work with you and check out Dream Lab Coaching?
Yes, absolutely. So you can check out my website, drericapazanka.com. Follow me on Instagram at Erica_Pazanka. And most of my work with women is one-on-one coaching. So if that's something that interests you, hit me up in either of those two places. And I'd love to chat to see if we'd be a good fit and I can support you.
Love that, Dr. Erica. You are officially part of the Unmuted family. Welcome. We're so
Thank
happy
you.
to have you. High five. I'm so happy you're here. Boom.
Woo!
And
Honored
thank
to be
you
here.
again.
Thank
Oh my
you.
gosh. This was so wonderful. I feel like I'm ready to take on like the world right now.
Yes, I want you to feel that way. I love that. Yes, I always
So
say,
good.
grab your purse, let's go F stuff up.
Yes,
I'm trying to, trying to, in the appropriate way. Yeah.
but we're definitely gonna do it. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for your time. And thank you all for watching another episode of my goodness, the Unmuted podcast. My brain is like, where are we going to go and mess up right now? Well, this
Yes,
has
let's go
been
disrupt.
we're going to disrupt something. Thanks for watching the
Yeah.
Unmuted podcast. Go and disrupt something in your day today, ladies. And we'll see you on the next episode.
This isn't just another podcast. It's a movement, a global wave of women from Nairobi to Nashville, Seoul to Sao Paulo, stepping out of the shadows and into the spotlight. Women who are ready to be seen, to be heard, to be unmuted. I'm Anjuli Marshall, an award-winning ABC and NBC journalist and speaker, turned business strategist, coach, and mom. My mission? To amplify the voices of women who were never meant to stay silent. One woman, one voice, one story at a time. So go ahead, put on your comfy pants, grab a coffee, and maybe the remote. Are you ready to press the button? Unmuted starts right now.